Okay, my friends, coming to you guys real quick. Just had the most divine insights doing a lot of breath work and energy work just now. And I've been struggling with this for a long time whenever I talk about breath work or energy work, and that's like the foundation. Is like, where do we start? Where do we come from? What is the guiding principles? And truly, these principles are founded in different types of breath. Okay, so this is a little bit of a high level video. For anybody who does energy work or does breath work, there is not two different types of breath, being the in breath or yang breath and an out breath, which is the yin breath, right? There's 8. So we're gonna dive into all these really quickly here, and it reveals a lot of the process of energy work and what we're doing here. Okay. The first thing, there's 2 different bodies. My friends, the process of breath work and energy work is in fact breathing life and reactivating the etheric body, or if you want to call it the spiritual body, that sits as like a mirror image on the plane above, but right here. It's all integrated, it's all one, right? But we must awaken the second body. This is breath work. And so that being said, there's 2 different bodies we breathe through, my friends. There's a subtle breath, and then there's a heavy breath. There's a physical breath, and then there's an etheric breath, okay? And the whole process is essentially to learn to become one with the sun state. The sun state is the combination of the in and the out. The sun state is the 2-way flow, my friends, where it rises and then descends, combining both the above and below within it, right? The sun is pulling in all matter around it, from the above, from the below, from everything, right? Transmuting all of it at the core and simultaneously shining light across the whole world. It is a 2-way operation. It is allowing the ether to pour through, okay? So, allowing the ether to pour through. To allow the ether to pour through, my friends, we must awaken a dark body, a body that does not have awareness, that hasn't been fully formed, right? That is not pumping with life. And that's our second body. That's the subtle breath. This is becoming aware of the subtle, right? So to do this, it is through breath. It is through discerning and separating the heavy breath from the subtle breath. It is learning to separate these and learning to, go read the Corpus Hermeticum, but whatever. Let's dive in. First breath, there's an in breath in the physical and an in breath in the subtle, meaning with your mind and how you're breathing, like how you're feeling, everything is a yang. It's a shimmering breath, okay? The in breath is about compression. Like you're pulling in everything into the core and you're expanding to the very edges of your aura. You're expanding to the very edges of your mind. You're compressing, and I call it a shimmering breath because it's literally like the whole field starts shimmering because you're compressing energy into every single part, every single cell. Imagine you are breathing through every cell of the body and it's expanding, and you feel that, right? That is a yang on the energetic level, that the level in which you're feeling, and in the mind, in the imagination, and your awareness, the subtle awareness. And then you're breathing and compressing with the heavy breath, okay? Then there is the second type of breath, which is a compressed hold. When you're fully inhaled, there's a hold right there, right? Right there, okay? That's the second type of breath. And the hold in your mind, you can hold compressed and hold compressed in the physical, okay? We'll get into the second type. The second type is a holding compressed in the physical, right? Like expanded, but in your mind, imagine you are actually relaxing. We'll get into this combination in a second here. The third type of breath is an out breath in the heavy, an out breath in the subtle, okay? The third type of breath is a complete yin breath. You are going to the edges, you are feeling everything. At that hold, you start feeling everything, right? When you're feeling everything, you allow all of it to start moving by itself. You do not judge, you do not expect. No, this is the divine feminine. This is the out breath on both levels, right? The out breath on both levels, you are literally observing and feeling everything, right? And just letting it all move, letting it all go, letting everything come in. You are completely receptive, right? The fourth type of breath is a completely empty hold. When you are empty, after you've exhaled, right, and you hold right there, that's the end. Okay, so let's get into the different types of the quick combinations here. So a good way to think about it is, for instance, when you're doing an exhale, you can imagine that when you're so you're holding a lot of air in you and you start to exhale it very slowly, and you imagine all your cells exhaling, right? But in your mind, you're doing this physically, right? And basically after you've established a process of doing both together, then you switch them up. You're trying to breathe without breathing. You're like, okay, I'll make another video deeper into the philosophy. I just need to get the keys out right now. Okay. How to combine the 2 into 1, how to combine the yin and the yang breaths together is when you are exhaling in the physical, you imagine that on the energetic plane, that thing, you're actually like inhaling, like you're still expanding. So when you're exhaling here, imagine you were a balloon. This is a perfect analogy. Imagine you were a balloon that got filled up with water. That was the in breath, right? And you're letting water out now. But imagine that the balloon stayed like the same size. It stayed like pumped up still, even though you're draining the water out, right? That's the process. Like you filled yourself up with air, every single cell, your whole entire etheric body with a shimmering breath. You held shimmering, right? And then you release it. But you imagine that the ether's still pumping in as you're letting it go. Now on the way up, on the up breath, right? You are compressing, you are filling. It is a shimmering breath, right? But imagine that the ether is in fact flowing out of you on the energetic level, in your feeling, in your imagination, right? So you're going to be inhaling very slowly into every cell of your body, head to toe, right? But simultaneously, you want to be getting more and more and more subtle, more perceptive, right? More relaxed, more I guess yin in your mind, in your energy. And a good example, I guess to see this, what that is, what that feels like is, do you notice that when you inhale and you do a very long slow inhale and you get all the way to the max, do you notice that you actually get kind of like tighter everywhere and you actually start to feel less? It's hard to feel things when you're inhaling, right? It's much easier to feel things when you're exhaling and like really just like sitting with it, right? But you have to combine both of those. Completely sit in your center and inhale slowly through the whole thing. But imagine that everything is becoming softer and has more capacity to be filled up, is actually like being released on the energetic, right? So as you're inhaling, you're actually becoming more subtle. As you're inhaling, you are simultaneously exhaling on the subtle breath in the imagination, in your awareness, in your feeling, right? And I'm gonna go way deeper into all of this, but I just needed to give you guys the download, the keys, and get this out onto a video. There's 8 different types of breaths. I gave you guys the 4, right? And you obviously can do the combinations in your own mind, but there's a subtle body, a subtle breath, a light breath, and a heavy breath. If you guys want to go deeper, go check out my video series Breathing in Starlight in my ESP package number 2, and that talks a lot about the subtle breath. But anyways, peace.